is he your boss? Does he?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Ben's involvement. He's not the CEO of the Daily Wire. He is not making the day-to-day decisions of the Daily Wire. And I do want to make it very clear because people are like, how could you possibly stay at Daily Wire after this? I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. He's a wonderful person. He's worked very hard to be where he's at. We have a lot in common that we connect on. And so people don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Ben lives in Florida. He's not a part of the day-to-day movement of the Daily Wire. The rest of the hosts have their shows situated in Nashville. So we see each other every day. We talk. There's great camaraderie. And there's actually more agreement. There's actually a lot of people that are, as I describe myself, just pro-America first.
If you work with other people, if you are working with other people, sometimes there is bound to be misunderstanding. There is bound to be a difference in opinion. Sometimes your workmates might do or say things that you find uncomfortable. And sometimes you might also do things or say things that your workmate may also find uncomfortable and unwelcoming. It's quite normal because as long as we work together, as long as we live together, as long as we coexist together, there will always be certain times that we fall short of what is expected of us. That, in my own opinion, is something very normal. But when that happens, the way you behave will justify or will clearly indicate the kind of person you are. If your friend said something that you did not agree with, or you did something that your friends don't like, the way they react to what you said, or the way you reacted to what they said, will clearly indicate the kind of person you guys are. Most of the time, we will hope that they act in a very civil and constructive manner. So let's watch this clip. It was a conversation between Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Before we even get to that, let me just make it very clear. I have been very critical of Candace Owens because she has said some stuff that I find really, really uncomfortable. And I have made my mind very clear on that. I have spoke about it on this channel. So I do believe that she has the right to say whatever she wants to say. And I also have the right to debunk or criticize. Respectfully, of course. Which I have done so. So I just want us to clear that out before we continue. So now let's watch the clip.
The internet was dominated yesterday by video of Ben Shapiro, who you work with at the Daily Wire. I think it's fair to say attacking you. Here's the video. I just want to get your reaction to it. So maybe there's a point in the video where he explains what exactly you did wrong and how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
There isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on. And in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree or I don't think she's correct or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks. Yes. I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Has he texted you to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what? Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting. We disagreed on the COVID vaccine. We disagree on Ukraine and Russia. He has taken virtually every stance that has been the opposite of mine on every issue over the last 5 years. So I don't think that that's particularly remarkable.
Vaccine. Really, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was pro the COVID vaccine. I was anti the vaccine. You know, we were all idiots for not getting the vaccine. So that's totally fine. I am totally open to people having a difference in opinion.
Right.
I would hope that amongst colleagues that it would always be a civil disagreement, and I would never in a private event stand on a table and talk badly about Ben.
It's just it's a little weird. So he was on the left on those three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted responsibility. He said, I was wrong about the vaccine.
Oh, good.
He is, obviously pro-pharma. His mom's a doctor. And I say to people, I'm very aware of my perspectives on Big Pharma, and I talk about it on my show openly. And I think that that's a tremendous credit to the Daily Wire that they allow a difference of opinions. But I as I said, hope that it would remain respectful and that you wouldn't throw your colleagues under a bus, so to speak.
I think that's fair. And just for clarity, because I really don't know, is he your boss?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Ben's involvement. He's not the CEO of the Daily Wire. He is not making the day decisions of the Daily Wire. And I do want to make it very clear because people are like, how could you possibly stay at Daily Wire after this? I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. He's a wonderful person. He's worked very hard to be where he's at. We have a lot in common that we connect on. And so people don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Ben lives in Florida. He's not a part of the day-to-day movement of the Daily Wire. The rest of the hosts have their shows situated in Nashville. So we see each other every day. We talk. There's great camaraderie. And there's actually more agreement. There's actually a lot of people that are, as I describe myself, just pro-America first. And I think I've been that way consistently throughout my political career. Whether people agree with it or not in different moments is up for debate. But I don't want that video to become a reflection of how the Daily Wire works and the Daily Wire operates, because I have had a very good experience with the CEOs and, love Michael Knowles, love Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan. We all get along really great.
Well, it certainly speaks well of the Daily Wire then. So it's not, a clip like that on the internet, Candace Owens is out or something. That's doesn't sound like that's what it means at all.
Yeah, no, it's a small group of people. We see each other every day. Right. Brett Cooper is another one who just joined about 2 years ago. She's great. She's up and coming. And there's a lot of stuff that we're working on. And that's why I think this video is even more unfortunate, because people see him as a figurehead, rightfully so, of the Daily Wire. And it allows people to, speak energy into the Daily Wire that isn't necessarily there because he's not there on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, I think Candace always responded to this very, very smartly. And I personally like the way she did that, She did not just go all latching out at Ben. She did not just go all screaming at Ben. She took her time, she articulated her points, and she made them really clear. That is how people should have a conversation. And I understand that nowadays it's quite difficult to have any civil disagreement with any person nowadays, and the people rather just say stuff behind your back than calling you and saying those same things in front of you, which is really, really poor. Because I think that if we work together, if we are colleagues, and then we have a disagreement on something, we can talk about it, right? We can sit down and actually talk about it. Now, I might not necessarily agree with what you said, and you don't have to agree with every single thing I say, but at least we can have a civil conversation, and we can have like this courtesy to each other, not to throw one another under the bus, not to go out in public and start trash talking one another. If people from the outside kind of perceive that there is trouble inside, that house will never stand. A house, a team, a company must always put up a unified front. There cannot be division among members of a team, of a house, of a company. Because if that were to happen, your enemies will use it against you. And I understand that this whole thing with Ben calling Candace Owens disgraceful is as a result of Candace's opinion on the Israel-Hamas conflict and how Uncle Sam, aka America, has been blindly supporting Israel, giving them fundings, protecting them in the United Nations, and letting them do whatever they want to do. And Candace was like, I will hope that we do not get into another war in the Middle East. No. I would hope that America stays out of all these foreign wars, which is understandable, right? I myself would hope that America does not get involved in anything abroad, because I know when America gets involved, everything falls apart. That's why I would hope they don't get involved. But coming back to Ben Shapiro, he is so invested in Israel, and no one can blame him for that because he has a beef in the fight. But for those of us who are not from Israel, we have the right to say, no, we do not support this. We cannot go along with this. So he has to also hear us out and respect our decisions. But to Ben, that will not stand. That will never work. Anyone who is against Israel, anyone who thinks that Ben's opinion might be slightly corrupted or biased due to his affiliation to Israel will automatically become the enemy. And Ben has made that very clear again and again and again. So before I go, let me just make this very clear to you. I watch both of them quite often, and I really like what they have to say. But sometimes I think that when someone did something wrong, we all should say it. Ben was wrong to call his colleague Candace Owens disgraceful. Ben was wrong to trash talk his colleague. That was totally wrong. But you guys out there, what do you think about what Ben Shapiro said and how Candace Owens responded to it? Was it the best way for Ben to air out whatever was going on within him? Shouldn't he have looked for a more professional way of talking out these issues with Candace Owens? Share that thoughts with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because that helps us a lot and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.